Shedeur Sanders is making headlines and it's not even draft night. What is going on? It's a lot of drama. Are the rumors true? Why is it taking place? We're going to get into it right after this. Okay. I am back. Did you miss me? Well, I missed you guys, and we got a hot topic today. Many of you are probably watching the news and scrolling through YouTube, and you're seeing Shedeur Sanders everywhere. The commentary is very interesting. However, is it a true evaluation of his character, or is it a little biased? Melted in some of these evaluations as well. Let's go ahead and hear one gentleman here, Dan Patrick to be exact, talk about Shedeur and what's taking place with him right now.
And I think that there is a growing concern. Now, I can't speak for all of these players, but those who got that they come in already entitled, that maybe they're spoiled a little bit. They've gotten their money already, and maybe there's preferential treatment that they got, and they expect that when they get to the pros. Whether that's true or not, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's open to interpretation. But Shedeur Sanders hasn't thrown a football, hasn't played a game in a couple of months, but you're starting to get the feeling, and I don't want to say smear campaign, but it does feel like you start to pile on. And sometimes, the insiders are following insiders, and they want to make sure that they don't miss on this. And it's an echo chamber. It's a circle. Now you start to hear, hey, nobody's sold necessarily on Shedeur Sanders being a first-round draft pick. I mean, where did that come from? That was quick. Is he a first-round draft? We have an analyst on later on who will tell you why he thinks Shedeur Sanders might not go in the first round. If you're not going to take somebody because they're arrogant or
why he may not. Now, this is what I believe Shedeur Sanders mentioned, and I covered this in a video. You guys can go back to a video that I did probably about a month ago where he was talking to his brother on his podcast, and he anticipated being ridiculed close to draft day. And he specifically, let's get to it, said that this happens to black quarterbacks. And it's happened in the past to Cam Newton. It's happened to Bridgewater over in Baltimore on his draft night. So is this the same play to drop him down on draft night on picks? Right? Comment below. What do you guys think? Is Dan Patrick being fair in his evaluation of Shedeur? Is it a smear campaign, or is it fair to judge this young man, or are they biased? Potentially, because young men are walking into the NFL with millions of dollars. They don't have their hand out begging. They're saying where they want to go. And quite frankly, like Shedeur said, hey, don't draft me if you aren't looking for a franchise quarterback. Let's hear more because I want to hear from you guys.
Or brash instead of their abilities, then I would really have questions about you and how you're assessing talent. At that position, teams are always looking for their quarterback. And if he is that quarterback, now I said yesterday, I don't know what he's great at. I know he's tough. I know that, the family tree, certainly going to be talented.
He doesn't know what he's great. He's great at leading. Let's start with that. He's great at winning and leading. He's been winning since a child, high school, college, and he's going to win in the NFL as well. So you know what he does. If he wasn't a winner, if he wasn't a leader, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now about Shedeur, about what place he's going to go in the NFL. Am I right? So you can't act oblivious or nonchalant about Shedeur saying, I don't know what he does well. You know what he does well.
He's not athletic, overly athletic. That was the thing that surprises me the most about him.
More athletic than you.
I think today's quarterback has to be able to extend plays. Can he be a Russell Wilson type player? Maybe. But now you're starting to look at people looking at Shedeur Sanders saying, all right, what's so special?
You know, this is one of my main problems with the NFL and how they look at quarterbacks. Why do quarterbacks have to be categorized certain ways? That's why it took so long for black quarterbacks to really become the rage, if you will, of NFL, because their style was different. Oh, he doesn't throw this way. He can't throw long enough. Oh, he likes to run. He likes to move outside of the pocket. All of these things kept black quarterbacks out of that spot for decades. Thank God we have Randall Cunningham. Remember Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon? Those guys did stay in the pocket more, right? Living up to what that prototype is of a quarterback. However, they were a bit different. But as things evolve, you see we got to the Michael Vick, who completely changed the game. And the game has been changed now. It's not the same game. We're not dealing with the same kind of players coming into the NFL as we once did. And it's for a reason. Now, did we create monsters? We will find out.
They might do the same with Cam Ward. I mean, I watched Cam Ward play at 3 different schools. He won. I don't know. I didn't look at him and go, that's a franchise quarterback. I just thought he's really good. And that's the tricky part when you're trying to look and assess talent to go to the next level. Who has it and who doesn't? Why does that guy have it and that guy doesn't? That guy's so much more talented, but that guy knows how to play. And that's where these general managers and scouts, their reputation, their jobs are on the line of being able to assess that position.
Okay, now chat. If they're assessing and they're evaluating with their professional expertise, then why don't they put their name on the line? This gentleman who came forth talking about Shedeur and his experience with him is unnamed. Okay? If you are a professional and you're critiquing an individual, why not attach your name to it, right? Authors write books, they put their name on it. Why not put your name on it? Stand on it if that is the case. If it is the case, or more so what I believe, this is an attempt. This is an attempt to knock Shedeur down in draft picks. Let's hear what they have to say, not only on Nightcap, but on a podcast after. Now, let me give credit to, this is Dark Black Times, the creator here, who captured something really insightful. So don't leave. You guys want to watch this. This is how we're going to compare. He does a really good comparison of, let's face it, black quarterbacks and white quarterbacks. And we're talking specifically about the Mannings.
But listen, listen. I understand. Obviously, especially at the quarterback position, they want you to be and conduct yourself a certain way. They want you to be Tom Brady's, the Peyton Manning.
I felt something on my face, and Peyton had pulled his shorts down and sat his anus, his testicles on my face. So I pushed him up and out. He turned around, pulled his shorts back up.
And since we're on the subject of Peyton Manning and quarterbacks conducting themselves in the proper way, faces of the franchise, if Shedeur Sanders had did what Peyton Manning did, or he was accused of doing by a team doctor,
who says Peyton Manning assaulted her.
And I want you guys to follow me here. We're talking about Peyton Manning, who was in college, same age as Shedeur right now. And he did this to a doctor. Shedeur Sanders, if we're talking about character, has really been, for the most part, an upstanding individual, okay? Raised in a household where he's been getting prepared his entire life for this, much like what we have here, Peyton Manning. But did he do something as wild as this? And then what happened to Manning after this act? Was he held on the same standard and ridiculed to the same degree, and was his character criticized? Was the NFL scouts and quarterbacks as critical of him after in this situation as they are of Shedeur now? And if Shedeur did this, what would be happening to him?
Her years ago, before he went pro.
On February 29, 1996, his injured foot was being examined in the athletic department's training room by Nawright, who holds a doctorate in education.
My boss, when I called him that night, really realized that this was a serious situation. This was fault, and that he informed me not to call the police or press.
Shedeur Sanders would have been facing some charges, and getting drafted by an NFL team would be the least of Shedeur Sanders' concerns. But this is a story we never heard about. I didn't hear about this story until a few years ago, until long after Peyton Manning was retired. This is a story that they buried, and they purposely did it. And so I wanted to highlight that and point that out to say this, that when it comes to picking NFL players, quarterbacks in particular, and it comes to picking leaders of your team, because that's what the quarterback is, he's going to be the face of your franchise. When it comes to that, they pick and choose who they decide has good character and who doesn't have good character. Like I said, if a situation like this happened with Shedeur Sanders, like it did with Peyton Manning, it would have been world news. It would have been world news.
All right. And I appreciate this brother putting together this video that clearly showed what happened with Peyton Manning. Now, is this, again, an analyzation of Shedeur Sanders? Is it fair? Is he being held on the same standard as white quarterbacks? Let's get right to it. We got a lot to talk about. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to join in this conversation because I think that this is a hot one. Let's get to it. All right. Until the next time, family. Appreciate you. Peace.